All right. Hello, hello, hello. We are just going live for our weekly Ask Me Anything session about self-publishing. This is April Cox, and you can feel free to go ahead and post your questions for me, or you can also come on and join me live here on Zoom. You can find us at aprilcox.com/events, EVENTS, events, aprilcox.com/events, and that will redirect you over to my Zoom link. All right. Let me see. Earlier this week, I might as well do some housekeeping. Earlier this week, I had a webinar this week and then one last week that is called the 5 Steps to Publishing Your Book and breaking into the market, or, managing to break into the self-publishing market. So I will continue to pull up some of those webinars, but I'd love to hear anything that you have, requests for topics and things that you'd like me to focus on in the new year. I'm starting to put some things together. I do have a special treat for my mastermind group on Monday. It's my Marketing Monday. And so then I'm going to have an individual talking about websites, Wix websites, and going to walk through how to market with your website, what kind of things should you have on there. And then she's going to step through some things about Wix that you can learn and see how you're able to actually use Wix to create your website very simply. So stepping through that process should be interesting. So that is coming up on Monday. We also do have these open Q&A on Wednesdays. Let me just post a chat. Ask me anything about self-publishing. For my folks that are here with me on Zoom, is there anything that I can answer for you that you'd like to get onto the agenda for today? Victoria, I know.
No, I did want to share though that whenever I write a story, somehow I always get the title first. In all my stories, the titles just come to me, whereas it's the opposite for other people. And now that I've written this story, this next story, it's like, oh my gosh. And I know now that Amazon will really look at that title. And if they can't, like Tuxedo Baby, no one had any idea what that was. And I didn't have a subtitle. And now I know subtitles are really important because it explains. Someone looking at that might think it's a cat, and it wasn't.
Right.
But I'm trying to be really mindful of the title, but I want to get in the subtitle somewhere anxiety, but I don't want it to be like, that for a kid, because he's, written for an 8-year-old. So I decided to go on Chat GPT and just ask him. I told a little bit about the story and said, now, give me some punchy, about 10 of them. And it was interesting because I didn't necessarily like the title. Well, I liked maybe the titles, but I didn't like the subtitles, but I liked the subtitles for the other ones. So we kind of went, I kind of picked and choose and then messed it up a little. And I think I found 2 that I might like, but I have plenty of time to hash it over and think about it and whatever. But anyway, so titles. Never thought it was hard for me before, but whoa, it was really difficult. And
yeah, that is true that selecting the right title and subtitle can be critical because, like you said, that is one of the most important things, along with some things like your series title, your keywords. And if your title has a keyword in it that you absolutely know that you need to include and that you want people to find you by, that's going to be ranked much higher than somebody that doesn't have something like that in the title.
Right.
So I agree that that's an important part. I usually start my research with Amazon to see what other people are doing for that title or for the topic that I'm researching. And then obviously, you know, I do love, as a geek that I am, Chat GPT and playing around with to see what ideas and brainstorming that I can get in companionship with the Chat GPT. So that can be really helpful to at least just get you started. If you feed it some really good information, for example, my book is about, and then give it a little bit of information, act as a keyword expert or a marketing expert, and especially with expertise in search engine optimization on Amazon. So those kinds of things, you tell the AI what it is you need them to act as, and that helps to kind of frame how they respond to your inquiries. So then I would tell the GPT, I am looking to get indexed on these key terms. So I would like to incorporate ideas that I can use for incorporating some of these keywords in the title and subtitle. And it's kind of fun how it can come up with some really interesting ideas. Some of them are good and some not so good, but at least it gets that creative juices flowing for you. And then you can work through that. So I do agree. I think that there's some great ideas and options. Are you trying to look for a new title for an upcoming book?
Yes.
Tell us what the book is about.
It's really talking about how animals, pets, can help kids who have anxiety and specifically food allergies, because food allergies, kids sometimes are separated from socially from their friends when they can't eat at a birthday party. They can't have the cake, they can't have the cupcakes, they can't with the combination in it, whatever's in it it gets them set off. So it makes them anxious when they have to like pick at the carrot instead of the that kind of thing. Anyway, so the whole idea is that this little girl is always itchy and she can't take her medication at school because it makes her sleepy, and she's itching, and her parents feel badly for her. And she runs into this dog who kind of mimics the same thing. Look, he's itching too. But he's itching because his whole litter mate, it's a beagle. The whole litter mate was adopted except him. So he's living with this little old lady who's super sweet, but the dog beagles are stubborn. I mean, she's pulling him in every direction. But then she notices that he stops to itch. And she's going to her father, look, Daddy, he's just like me, and so then it goes on into where the woman, the old lady, is telling him, the dog, though, when people come to adopt him, chewing on the table, he's barking and he's howling, and people are leaving like this, going like this, fleeing. And so they're not interested. And so one day she finds that she sees the old lady, but without the dog. And she says, where's Bella? And she says that she took Bella to the shelter because she'd have a higher chance of getting adopted than being with her. And
Right.
so, of course, the little girl is desperate now, and because she feels that this dog kind of mimics how she feels inside. They're both itching, they're both anxious, and that kind of thing. And fortunately, they do find the dog, and that's how it. So there's a lot of themes in there. I talk about, just well, at the end, I always do a nonfiction thing. I talk about beagles, and if they're a suitable dog for a child. They are high energy. They're very, very friendly, but they're very, very stubborn. And then I talk about a little bit about adoption. How before you go and get your dog that you're looking for, always check the local shelter, because odds are you might find and have a forever home. So there's lots of little tidbits, and that's basically what the story's about.
Okay.
So
Well, it doesn't, because, and that's, I'm glad you gave a little bit of context, because I was thinking when you were talking about a book about, the food allergies, or a child that's allergic, I was thinking in school, maybe, this was taking place at school. So if you want, we can hop into ChatGPT and just play around a little bit with some ideas for a title. What do you think?
Play with it. And like I said, oops, I lose everybody. Oh, I don't know what I did.
It's just me. I'm
Oh,
sharing my desktop, so don't worry. Let's
I
see.
guess I kind of like.
Oh, I guess we're not going to be able to do that after all, because the ChatGPT is having some kind of a website issue. We have identified an issue with ChatGPT, so I guess we're not doing that. Maybe I'll check it again in a little while.
Yeah.
Welcome back to you, Victoria.
Oh, I just wanted to share one of they gave me, I asked for 10 and then I asked them to go back and give me 5 more. And I kind of like to mix and match. The title of one of the titles that I liked was Lily and Bella, A Friendship That Heals. But I didn't like the subtitle. So I liked another subtitle. The subtitle would be Overcoming Anxiety, One Wag and Smile at a Time. I thought that was kind of cute. Other one that I like.
Thing is, like, some of these are really cute, but don't necessarily help you get the keywords that you're talking about. Like,
Wag and smile. You're right. You're right. You're right.
wag and smile don't really talk about dog or friendship, dog, allergy. So those kinds of things, we just, you can play around with it for sure, but we also, not that you want to sacrifice a good title just to keyword stuff, because we don't want to do that. But I think there's got to be a happy medium between the two.
Right, right. No, I get what you're saying. I like the fact that it used the word anxiety, overcoming anxiety. And of course, I can twist that. I mean, some of them actually say how a little girl and a beagle find comfort in each other. That was the subtitle. And so they had a kind of a cute little one, a tale,
Mhm.
2 friends, one bond, one journey to peace. But I didn't like that one at all. So anyway, I was just playing around. And like I said, I'm not ready yet. So that's something for another time too. When your thing is out there, I'd like that.
Okay, that sounds good. So I also did have someone post a question on YouTube. Whoops, I didn't mean to turn that off. I do that every time. I will fix your video. Sorry about
I can
that.
do it too. I can do it. Can't I? No, you just turned me off. Okay.
Hold on. Let me go back and see if I can fix you. I'm sorry. Ask to start video. There you go. So, okay. So Jocelyn posted to the YouTube channel. Welcome, Jocelyn. So Jocelyn asks, is there some type of a Goodreads for kids where, or is something similar to that? I think that's really interesting concept. I started putting something like that together myself. I call it the Kidlit Readers Club. And I started to assemble this list of different books and talk with all of my authors, trying to come up with free things for teachers and others who want to download resources. But I'm not aware of anything like a Goodreads where you can download some books, or it just compiles the list of only kids' books. There are, if you do go on to Goodreads, they do have a list. It's called Listopia. So let me just go quickly to Goodreads, and so that I can show you what I mean. So if you are looking for specific types of children's books, let me just quickly refresh Goodreads here, and let me sign in, sorry. So if I'm signing in, one of the things in the menu and one of the things that I do really like about Goodreads is this Listopia feature, which is basically how they group like books into a list. People can vote and upvote things. Oh, sorry, I have one, 3 different email addresses. So I'm trying to think of which one does my Goodreads use. I don't know why I'm logged out of it to begin with, but let's see. So you do have to be signed in order to get to the feature that I'm talking about. So let me just see if I can log in. I think it might just be my personal email. So, but what that does, like for example, if I had one author whose children's books were about open adoption, and there was no such list anywhere for people who were interested in children's books about open adoption. So since we created that list, we're starting to see other people posting books about adoption as well into the list. So it helps to pull it together. So it's in this feature. Now I'm logged in. There's a feature here, a browse feature. And that's where you see the lists. So if we do put lists together, it does break down for, I think it says here, children's, favorite genre, children's. So you can organize it by children's books. So in a sense, you have like a kidlit only thing for children's books, and you can go through and grab what you like and use the Goodreads functionality in order to do that. And they even have the ability to go into a specific grade and use that. So hopefully that's helpful. And I am putting together a platform where my authors can share free copies of their book for parents and for educators. And hopefully, as a result of making resources available, we can also incorporate some reminders to ask them to go and review those children's books as well. So I'm kind of pulling all of that together. And I'll have more information about that as we get to the end of the year and moving into January. Okay. So I hope that answered your question. Anything else, Jocelyn? Go ahead and post any follow-up question that you have. So I've got a couple of others that joined us. Welcome, Jordan. How are you? I can just have you go ahead and take yourself off mute if you'd like.
Hi, I'm good.
Hello. Welcome to the group and this open Q&A session. Is there anything specific you are wondering about with regard to self-publishing?
Thank you. Well, I've been on the fence for months, like literally a long time, about which route I'm going to go. And so I am pretty sure I'm getting ready to order an offset run of 1,000 or 2,000 books, and I got approved for Amazon Advantage. But I'm kind of wondering, like, should I still do KDP? Do I need a paperback option too? And just trying to make sure I'm going the right route before I make a costly mistake.
So, I mean, so you've already gone through the self-publishing process yourself. So when you say you're trying to decide, you're more trying to decide if you're going to go just with Advantage and do your hardcovers, or if you're going to add additional formats. Is that what you're asking?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my recommendation, and this is my own opinion, so it's just one person's opinion based on working with a number of authors. I absolutely love having an ebook version, which is a KDP version as well, that you can use for promotional purposes. And I also do create soft covers because first, there's a couple of reasons. Number one is when you're driving ads to your soft covers through KDP, you're able to run ads and you're able to do things that tend to perform a lot better than trying to run ads to your hardcover books. And I don't know why that happens, but it takes time for those hardcovers and for your Advantage to be approved for you to be able to run ads effectively. So
Okay.
I do like having the paperback as well, the print on demand. It's also a great backup plan for if you're out of stock with your hardcover books. People do have an option to grab the paperback. And for my, I grew up as a young mom that did not have a lot of money. So if there was a $20 hardcover book out there, I probably wouldn't be one that would have purchased it because I was pinching every penny. And so I always think about that younger me when I'm trying to think about my target audience and making sure that younger April would have had an opportunity to purchase some of the things that I'm putting out there. And that's why ebooks, at lower prices and doing free ebook promos, and also the lower cost paperback for those that can't afford the hardcover or prefer to have, to buy things, to buy paperbacks. And that will give a lower cost option, but it also, paperbacks have probably just as much profit as your hardcover does, depending on, how you printed it and what cost you got it down at. But royalties on paperbacks are really good. So there's no reason not to do it. And especially if it gives an extra resource for individuals who are looking to purchase your book. Now, I do see the other side where some people say that they prefer not to cannibalize their sales, and they really want to drive people to their hardcover because it's better quality, and they want to sell those instead of offering a second alternative. So there's really no right or wrong. I just choose to give people more options and focus on the customer rather than focusing on what is best for me. I think that there's a happy medium that can be best for both. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so, but that kind of makes me wonder, like, do I need to invest in the hardcovers? But I think the reason I was going to do that was to get in bookstores because they won't take KDP. Is that right?
Bookstores will. There is print on demand options for through Ingram Spark. You can do hardcovers. The quality is not nearly as good as what you can get yourself. However, there's also, when you think about getting into the stores, like if I was to go through Ingram Spark and get my print on demand version, I'm going to, when it publishes, it's going to go to Amazon, yes, but it's also going to go to Barnes and Noble, and it's going to go to Walmart and Target, Books A Million. There's actually like 45,000 different places, including libraries and books and bookstores that will have access to Ingram Spark. Now, because they call it just Ingram, they'll have access to order your book through Ingram. And it also appears on all of those websites. So even if the store doesn't decide to physically bring your book into the office, into the store, people are able to find it on barnesandnoble.com, target.com, things like that. So that's like one thing I've wrestled with for a while are those people that say, I really want the very best high quality book, and I want the bookstores to be able to get it. But one of the struggles that we've had is that if you are not selling a ton of books, then distributors aren't going to pick you up. And it's those distributors that are going to get you into Target and Walmart and other places like that. So the good news is I found a distributor, and I've partnered with a distributor who is helping my authors, and I'm happy to share information with you. And what that distributor is doing is taking your high quality print books that you print offset, and they will house them and fulfill the orders on your behalf, and they will distribute your book to other retailers outside of Amazon. So when Barnes and Noble goes on, or one of your other bookstores, they will see this is not a print on demand title. It is a high quality offset copy. So you can absolutely be picked up by a distributor without tons of sales, because you're coming in under my umbrella, which is I've got enough authors that are under me that I've published. So this other distributor and I have kind of made a deal that they will bring in my authors and allow them to distribute their books through their channels. And the company is called Pathway. So you get some extra benefits. You can go directly to Pathway and apply and see if you're a good fit. If you come under my umbrella, you get some additional benefits. So some lower pricing per month and other things like that, and some benefits on fulfillment. So it's something to think about. And I've really hesitated offering something like that because I wanted it to be really good for all of my authors. And I wanted people to be able to utilize it and I could not find a good option that didn't require a ton of sales jumping through hoops. So I'm so excited that I actually found that, and I will be bringing on one of the individual who I'm partnering with. I'll bring her on for one of the open Q&A sessions. Probably just have to check in with her on her availability around the holiday, but it's going to be really interesting to chat with her and let people ask questions about it there. And I'm happy to share a copy of like the terms that they go through. If you want to drop me an email, I will reply and give you a copy of like their terms, their agreement that goes through some of the stuff that I do. So if you want to, I'm going to put my email address in the comments here. You are welcome to drop me an email and just say, can I please get a copy of the Pathway contract? I'll do the same on YouTube for anybody that happens to be watching. And yes, it's a great opportunity. They will set you up on Advantage. They will get you into and distribute you into these other places where you wouldn't normally have doors open to you. So that's going to make a big difference. I will say though, one warning is if you are interested in going with a distributor, then you don't want to have your own Advantage account because that just messes everything up. You'll have to close down your Advantage account and go through the distributor to do it because they list the books and they go through all of that for you. And it makes it a lot easier too, because what a headache it is setting up these accounts with Amazon on your own. So awesome. Hopefully that was helpful. Do you have any other questions that I can answer for you?
Would you shy away from board books?
You know, for a while I said yes, I would shy away from them because they were so expensive to print and they were very low cost. Like if you look at on Amazon and you look up board books, the prices are like $4 a piece to buy them. And I was thinking, how could you possibly make any money with board books? But I have a print partner that I was talking to and an author who is looking to do board books. And we were able to get the price down really low. So now I'm rethinking my position around board books. If you have something that is for that age group, then and you're willing to invest in an offset print, you can absolutely do a good job with getting the price down. And I'm happy to share the contact with you. Again, just, send me that email and I'll connect you with the individual who can help you at least get some pricing for those board books for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. I love connecting people. I'm a people collector and a people connector. So yes, I'm glad to have you here. You're welcome to hang out with us if you'd like. Anybody else have a question for me? Let's see. I think Mike joined. Hi, Mike. Welcome. Let's see if I can get you off of mute, my dear.
There we go.
How are you?
I am well, thank you.
Good, good. How can I help you today?
Well, I've been traditionally published with 6 titles so far.
Wow.
And I am pretty seriously considering going self-published with this next book. Not that I don't love my publisher, but I don't have the control that a self-published book would offer me, and the economics of it. With my current framework with the publisher, based on what I pay for my books, I can't put a book of mine in a bookstore and make any money.
Right.
So, I mean, I can't go into Barnes and Noble and have a book signing and make any money. I lose money on every book I sell.
Right.
I do some of those just because I like the independent bookstores, but so I wonder, first of all, is there an overall checklist that I might take a look at, because this is all new to me. I had the traditional publishing thing down pretty well, but I'm having to do this now on my own.
So let me ask you a couple of clarifying questions, and then the short answer is yes, I have a self-publishing checklist, and it's free. So I'll make sure I give you that link so that you can grab that, and along with some other resources, just for joining me today. So the questions that I have for you is, what's the genre that you're publishing? Is it a children's book? Are these adult books?
No, it's primarily traditional Westerns, believe it or not.
Oh, okay. I've got a few authors that work and do Westerns.
Yeah.
That's great.
I've got a couple of historical fiction books also, but it's all fiction. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to, so the price for you to create that on your own, and not, normally a traditional publisher will be paying for the editing and the cover design and the design of your book. Is that correct?
Right.
Is that the arrangement?
Yes. Yeah, I don't pay anything up front.
So with this, so I'll just kind of give you some ideas with regard to those things. You may, depending on how many words that you are going to be, that your book is.
My books are typically 85,000.
Yeah. So it'll vary dependent upon the quality of your writing and how much work and effort it will be for a developmental editor and then a copy editor and a proofreader to go through it. So
okay.
Have a good editor that you've already built a relationship with.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to do a developmental edit on it or a copy edit. I have a national critique group.
Okay.
And I have, I'm a very good editor myself, and I have beta readers.
Okay.
So it'll be pretty darn clean by the time the final polish is applied.
Yeah, I always recommend having a developmental editor go through it with fresh eyes, because even the editors that I work with have editors. They don't do their own editing. They bring, other people. But if you've got a really good critique group that's getting you through the majority of it, then, and all you're doing is proofreading, it's a much less expensive process.
Yeah.
Having a really good cover design is important. Do you have somebody that does covers that you already have a relationship with?
No, I don't.
I have amazing cover designers. So when you're ready for that, just grab my contact info from the chat here and let me know when you're ready to chat about that. I'm happy to connect you with my cover designer. And there's different ways to go. But so let's just say for a cover design, anywhere, I'd say budget $250, so that you get a really good solid cover design, really professional. And then for formatting of your book, and it could be anywhere from $100 to $400 a book for your book. So it's a relatively small effort investment.
Let me ask a quick question on formatting. I've been on Reedsy, and they offer a free formatting platform. Is that
really good.
Okay or not?
Yeah, it's really good. I've played around with it. A couple of the other tools that I use myself are Atticus from kindlepreneur.com And Vellum, if you have a Mac computer or Apple computer, you could use Vellum as well. And I actually formatted my first book because I'm not a formatter. I never have been. But one of my nonfiction authors that I work with, it's like historical, but it was a memoir. So, but I've worked with her for a number of years, and I said, hey, I'm learning Vellum. If you want to trust me and give me a few days, let me see if I can figure it out. And it ended up coming out beautifully. The effort was not bad at all. And the Readsy tool is very similar to that. So you play around a little bit to learn it. And, there's a few nuances, but these days with YouTube and the help that Readsy provides, just emailing the help desk and saying, hey, I'm stuck on this or that. You can pretty much format the interior easily. So that's all will cost you a lot of money to do that.
Good.
And I love the control, the sense of control. I am working on a memoir myself right now, based on my mother's life. And so I'm going to format my own books, and I'll spend a couple $100 with my cover designer. Everything else, other than I will pay for an editor to come in and work with me on it. But I think it's going to be relatively inexpensive. And then you've got your own control. And the more that you know about marketing, and it sounds to me like you've built up a good catalog, a backlist of books.
Yeah.
So hopefully you've got an email list that you've been creating over time, and you'll be able to take that email list and be able to blast them with information about your upcoming new book that you're working on.
Right. I've got about 600 subscribers to
Perfect.
the newsletter. So,
Perfect.
yeah. So I'm wondering about, and I guess I can figure out how to do ISBNs and copyrights. Those appear to be pretty simple things to do online. But
Yep.
I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on incorporating as an LLC.
Yeah, so there's a couple of reasons I'll just talk about. There's some pros to not being an LLC, and there's some cons, and vice versa, right? So you can be just a sole proprietor, and you can still get an EIN number, meaning you can go register and be a company without being an LLC. You can just be a sole proprietor. And that would be perfectly fine. The benefit of doing that is that the amount of paperwork and things that you have to do at the end of the year is much simpler. You don't have to worry about too much. You just file things just along with your own taxes, and you have that additional, line item but it's all considered a pass-through entity. So all of the income you make and the expenses just kind of works in with your regular income, and that becomes, you just do it with your personal tax filing.
Right.
So that makes it easy. On the negative side, if for any reason you were to be sued by anyone, then they could go after your personal assets if you are not a protected entity, meaning an LLC.
Right.
If you have some assets you want to protect and you're concerned about being sued, then you might want to create an LLC and get your company name and filing. Now on the negative side with an LLC, there are things that you need to do. I have to do send monthly taxes to my state. I also have to do annual reporting once a year, and I've got some different things that you have to report it's just more paperwork. And then I think it's, for my state at least, it's like $400 or $500 a year just to keep it open and keep that. I have to pay that with my annual file. So those kinds of things can happen with an LLC. Now I'll go one more step past that. Once you're making a certain amount of money as an LLC, usually most people will say that I've researched will say once you hit 6 figures of income, then you're probably going to want to look at becoming an S corp, which for tax purposes will save you a lot of money. So depending on where you are in all of that, and obviously I'm not a tax professional or a legal professional, so it is important for you to consult with those folks that you have representing you in those areas.
Very good. One of the things I'm still kind of up in the air about is what platform to self-publish on. I know RECCOMMENDED, and you seem to have some resources in that area, KDP, etc. So how do you make a
It's not a
decision?
publishing platform, though. RECCOMMENDED, they have a book formatting. I'm not aware of RECCOMMENDED doing any kind of publishing.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, so I do recommend KDP, Amazon KDP, because Amazon is, has the biggest market share. So there are people that I know, some of my authors refuse to do anything with Amazon for good reason. They just feel like, they don't want anything to do with Amazon. Amazon puts too many people out of business. And so they choose other options. And they do direct sales, or they sell from their website. But there are, my recommendation is not to snub Amazon, but to take advantage of the sales that you can get from Amazon. I also usually do print on demand for my hardcovers through Ingram Spark, because even though Amazon, you can get your hardcover and softcover out there because you've got a novel, you can do it. Then it's not really going very much farther than just Amazon. So if you're going through Ingram Spark, you'll have a much wider distribution. There's somewhere around the neighborhood of 45,000 different places that it goes to besides Amazon.
So you can publish through Ingram Spark.
In addition to,
yeah.
Yes.
And what do you think about draft to digital?
I do like draft to digital for ebooks. I don't think it's a good idea to do print books through them, because it's adding another layer. All they do is pass the orders over to Ingram Spark. So why don't you just use Ingram Spark for those? So
okay.
That's why but draft to digital does a good job of aggregating and publishing ebooks. So when I'm ready to go wide, when I'm launching a new book, I usually start specifically with Amazon KDP for my ebooks, and I go exclusive with them for the first 90 days. That way I get the benefits of their program. And then once the 90 days is up, then you have the ability to go wide, meaning you can set everything up on draft to digital, and you can go wide to Apple Books, Google Books, Kobo, all of the places that platform will push your book out to.
Okay. So ebooks, KDP, you like that one. And what about trade paperbacks?
Trade paperbacks. I'm not quite sure I'm following. What do you mean by trade
paperbacks?
Well,
it's print, but it's not hardcover, it's soft cover.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And you can do that through both KDP and Ingram. Both have paperback options. There are also other platforms that are starting to get more popular, like Lulu and also Book Vault. Those are two that I've been paying attention to recently, because not only do they distribute to Amazon and others, but they also integrate with an author's website. So if you're using WordPress or Wix, then those platforms you'll be able to take orders on your website and have them fulfilled by one of these other print-on-demand companies, which is kind of interesting.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I've taken enough of your time here. Somebody else.
Welcome. You're welcome. Good. Go ahead, Pat. You have your hand raised. Go ahead.
It's a question about Atticus. I know that it's Dave Chesson's at one of his entities. Can you format a children's picture book on Atticus?
I've been communicating with Melanie, who is the individual who kind of owns that product under Dave Chesson. She also took my course and kind of went through my picture book program.
Mm-hmm.
I was going back to her saying, is this an option to do picture books? And she said, yes and no. It's not, made for picture books. However, if there is a way to upload images, and then once the images are in there with the text on them as an image, a full page image, then you can generate the files. So I have not tried it, but according to Melanie, that it is possible. And so if you are interested in giving it a try, I always purchase anything Dave Chesson comes out with because I love the quality and the commitment and dedication that he has to those things. So and every time he releases something new, those people that have already purchased the product are going to continue to get the upgrades for free. So as soon as it became available, I purchased it. And so it's worth a try. I think it's absolutely worth a try.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, Rosalie. How are you, my dear? How can I help you today?
I'm just listening and absorbing. Thank you,
that's
April. Thank
perfectly
you so
fine.
much.
Perfectly fine. So let me just kind of take a quick look here. It's almost 9 o'clock, so we've got like 5 more minutes left. So I just want to put a plug in for a couple of things that are coming up with my author group once the new year comes. So starting at the last week of January, I'm kicking off a new 12-week author work group. We have both children's book authors, and I have a couple of people who are writing novels, and we're going to work together over a 3-month period and walk through every step of the publishing process together. So these are small group sessions. If this is something that you are interested in, then reach out or ask your questions. It is going to be a lot of fun. And right now, I still have the Black Friday's pricing enabled, and I'm just going to turn it off on Friday. So you've got a couple more days to grab. It is, as I mentioned, it's a 12-week program. You're publishing with other people. You're getting that hand holding. I've got my workbook here through, workbooks, videos, online course. This is the video, the codes. So this is my organized module. They have the opportunity to go through, scan it, see the video. I've got, it's just a great program. It's been in development now. This is my 7th year, and we just continue to improve every single iteration through it. The options for people, I have a daytime option, which is 1 p.m. Eastern, and then I have an evening option at 8 p.m. Eastern. So there's 2 different groups that are going to be running. And I also will kick off a new Amazon work group as well, Amazon ads work group. So if that's something that you've been wishing that you could learn more about Amazon ads, and you want to learn to run ads and also how to manage them, because there are lots of people out there with courses and training on how to create the ads. But the biggest deficit that I see is people not quite knowing then what to do when the ad is out there. How do you analyze it? How do you adjust? How do you make it more profitable? So that is an 8-week course that we do, and we meet every week. There are video recordings and homework that you can also do, and a group, Facebook group, where we communicate between meetings. So that is something. I saw your hand go up, Rosalie. Did that question?
Yeah. Yes, that prompted a question really fast, because I know we're out of time. But April, I don't want to do the marketing part. I'll do the publishing part. I'll learn how to do the upload and the formatting, but I just want to write my book, and then I would like someone to do the marketing for me. So what insight can you give me with that?
Yeah, so first of all, I would inspire you and say at least put your foot in and push yourself outside of your comfort zone in one place. You know, if you really love doing school visits or book readings or things like that, then focus on that. But if you are a busy professional, I've got a lot of my authors are very busy. They don't have the desire to do the marketing, or they just don't have the time. So some of the things that, you know, I think let's talk about the various aspects. Web designer, right? Web person to update or to create your website. Absolutely. I've got members on my team that do that. And I have somebody that is a web designer that does my work when I need updates to my website. So I don't do that myself. I have a social media manager. I don't pay a lot of money. It's a couple $100 a month. And she does 3 different platforms, 2 different Facebook groups, and she takes care of it all for me. So if you've got more money than time and you have the ability, you can add a social media manager. You can add a website person. You can add a virtual assistant, VA. So that's my admin. I do have one myself that is my right hand. And she's been with me for 5 years now. And she knows in and out what I need and monitors my things. And she also is helping with my newsletter and a lot of the things I do. And you can pay as little as $6 an hour to have a virtual assistant help you with that. That is amazing. Mine, I pay much better than that, but you can get started. And when it comes to advertising, the other part of this is advertising on Amazon, for example. Then I would, I do myself personally run ads for others. And I have another team member that also does run ads for others. So if you're not interested in learning, but you want somebody to help you run the ads, I'm absolutely happy to talk with you more about your needs and to help you through that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so we will, I will say goodbye for now to my friends on YouTube. If you have additional questions or you're seeing this in a replay, then feel free to post your questions. I do monitor them. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, I am almost at 10,000 followers, subscribers. So we're about 500 subscribers short. So I want to do a big push and a big celebration when we hit 10,000. And when I look at my analytics, only about 25% of the people that watch this channel are actually subscribed to the channel. So please do subscribe and help us grow the channel, help us get the resources that we need to continue to grow and do more for you and answer your questions and provide some free training and things like that for those who are subscribed. So thank you so much for being here and for supporting me and my channel. I'm going to disconnect from YouTube and I'll be hanging here with my friends that are staying on to continue some more Q&A. So take care, everybody, and I will see you next week, 8 p.m., where we try to do